Let's talk about what really went down in Birmingham's real estate market as we wrap up 2024 and kick off 2025. Whether you're thinking about buying your first home or wondering if it's finally the time to sell, I've got some insights you won't want to miss. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Adam Snow. I'm a local real estate agent here in Birmingham, Alabama. I share insights about living in and moving to Birmingham. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. You can also sign up for our newsletter. I share weekly things happening all in Birmingham, so stick around for that as well. There's some changes in January that are shaping the market as we move into the new year. These shifts could signal some key changes in our market here in Birmingham. So stick around with me as we go through all of that. Let's get into some of that data. So for all of last year for Jefferson and Shelby County, we had 12,394 homes sold. Median sale price was $305,000 and 11 days on market. This compared to 2023 when we had 12,101 houses sold, so not a huge difference. Median sale price was $295,000, so we're up some, and then 7 days on market. So again, kind of goes along with what we saw. And then 2022, comparing all of those, obviously this is kind of the right before the rates went up. We had 15,000 homes sold, so big difference. Median sale price was $299. So even with all those amount of homes, we're still up from our median sale price. And again, this is all of Jefferson and Shelby County combined. This isn't taking into effect of different areas. This is all of that. And then 4 days on the market. Again, this is right before rates changed when the market was going really fast. So that makes sense. Again, up 11 days now. So looking at this graph, obviously the black is 2025, red is 2024. January of 2025, so this year, we had 429 homes sold in Jefferson County. So, and then in Shelby County, we had 161 homes sold. So it's about a 12% change and then about an 8% change from last year. So we're up 12% amount of homes sold this year versus last year, and then 8% up from last year to this year. So again, more homes being sold as we kind of see things begin to change a little bit in Birmingham a little bit. And then you can see for all of 2023 and all of 2024, the amount of homes sold, like I was saying before, not a huge change in either one of them. Jefferson or Shelby County was not a very big change. We talked about this before, but it just, I think kind of the market that it was with the rates that really kind of stayed the same throughout 2023 and into 2024, we didn't see a huge amount of change in the amount of homes sold. For all of 2024, for both Jefferson and Shelby County for last year, we have 12,544 homes, which was only 283 more than 2023. So to put that in perspective, pre-pandemic, we averaged around 16 to 18,000 homes. Again, even in 2017, we're about 14,000 homes. So we still haven't quite made it back to that number at the 12,000 we were for last year. We're still 2,000 homes sold under 2017. And again, it just keeps going up all the way into 2021, 2022. Even then, we still dropped and we're still around that 14,000 mark. So we're still not quite at that mark yet with 12,000. This has still been a slower year as you have imagined. Now let's talk about months supply. Basically, how long would it take to sell everything on the current pace if no new homes were listed? As of early 2025, the Birmingham housing market has 2.8 months of supply, indicating it's still a stronger seller's market with 2,826 active listings in Jefferson and Shelby County. Over the past year, inventory still remained tight. A balanced market, typically we're looking at about 5 or 6 months of supply. So currently, conditions suggest continuing competition among buyers and potentially price stability or growth. I think what we're seeing now is not a lot of buyers. There's just not a lot of houses still. We're still having that situation where there's just not enough housing out there to meet the buyer demand. And so this is kind of what we're seeing is that we still only have 2.8 months of supply. Putting that in perspective, the 2020, 2021, 2022, we were probably about a month and a half, especially at those busiest times. So we definitely have gone in the direction of a buyer's market. It's still not in that situation where there's just not a lot of homes right now. I was just looking for a second ago, homes in Homewood, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. There's only 16 homes active right now. 16 homes in all of Homewood at a 3-bed, 2-bath. So we're still at the situation where there's just not a lot of houses. I have seen supply slowly gain, I believe, but we're still at that position where there's just not a lot of houses right now. Let's take a step back and look at pricing. As we start of 2024, the median home price in Jefferson, Shelby County was around $285,000. By December, that number had gone up to $307,000, an increase of about 8%. And as the start of 2025, in January, average sale price was $292,000, which I think will continue to go up as we get into the spring. But for now, for January 2025, we're at $292,000, which we're up from that $285,000 the start of last year. When we break it down, we see some interesting trends. Detached homes saw an increase from $285,000 to $309,000, about a 6.2% rise. Townhomes were up 16%, and condos actually saw a slight decrease of 1.8% from January to December of last year. I think this one is something that's very interesting. I'm seeing it right now. I have a condo for sale right now in Highland Park. I'm seeing this, and I believe a lot of it's because the people that were buying this are the first-time home buyers, which I think got hit the hardest with rates going up. You add in higher HOA fees, and those condos are just kind of getting out of reach for some people. So I think that explains a lot of this right here, is just you add in the higher rates and the HOAs that are already on there, the $300 or $400, which I'm seeing on some of these condos, and it just takes it to where it's really hard to get. So these are ones that I'm seeing the longest days on market, is the condos. Townhouses and single family homes we're seeing that are still selling fairly fast in most areas. Now, obviously there's some areas in Birmingham where they're not, but in a lot of the areas in Birmingham, single family homes, townhouses are still selling fairly fast. And we'll talk about days on market here in a little bit. The stat we all love to track: in January, 610 homes sold. On an average, 20 to 30% of those homes sold over asking price. Now let's talk about days on market. In January, the average days on market jumped to 52 days, while the median was around 30. And you can see as we go through each quarter where we are. So it's going up, and then obviously in January is 52 days. And we're kind of seeing that a little bit. Again, this is taking all of Jefferson and Shelby County. So there are some areas where I would say that it's not that high, but on average, we are seeing that. We're seeing houses sit just a little bit longer. If you're planning to sell, just know that it's really, really, really important to price it right. Clean it up really well and market it properly. The ones that I'm seeing affected the worst are either they're priced too high and then they just are just sitting, or they're just not in a very good show condition. And so you get that first run of showings when you first list, but because it's not as ready to see, it distracts people. And then once it sits, especially right now, it's sitting. That's why it's so important to, when you first hit the market, to put your best foot forward. We want to be priced correctly. We're not in that position anymore. We're in that market where you can just put a number out there and know that there's a really, really good chance that you'll probably get it. Right now, we have to be priced very, very specifically and very, very smartly to make sure that we're getting as most eyes on it and getting an offer in those first 2 weeks. So is 2025 a good year to buy? Well, it depends. I think if you're expecting and you're hoping for low interest rates this year to be able to buy a house, I think you're probably going to be disappointed. I don't think rates are going to go down crazy amounts this year. You know, looking at this time last year, people were predicting that we'd have rates into the low fives towards the end of this year. I don't think that's going to happen. I think a lot of these, like you're seeing on this one, I think we may get into those low sixes, by the end of the year, but I don't think we'll be seeing anything in the fives in 2025. Maybe in 2026, we might get into those, but even then, a lot of people are predicting, we might not change too much. We'll see what happens with Trump and all of the economy. If we start to see some better numbers, maybe we'll get some more action from the Fed. But I think for now, I think we're going to be seeing rates stay somewhat level. I think what you're going to see is people get to the point where they have to move and they have to buy because of situations, whether it's getting married, having kids leaving, retiring, whatever it is, I think you're going to start to see stuff at some point. The dam has to break. I think people have been holding out for so long that we're going to have rates change. Rates are going to go back down, and that's when we're going to make a move. And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, sadly. I think as a real estate agent, we all would love for that to happen because it would open up a lot for a lot of buyers and sellers. I don't think that's going to happen. So if that's what you're hoping for, that's what you're waiting for, I think you might be waiting for a little bit longer. But I think there's still opportunities. Like I was saying before, days on market, especially if you're a buyer, days on market have gone up. So I think that's something to look at. We're seeing a lot more houses with seller credits, so money towards buyers' closing costs. We're seeing a lot more houses. I bet at least half the houses I see sold have some kind of seller credit. So I think that's a great opportunity to take advantage of. And then, like I was saying, with selling a house, it's so important to price it right now. I think it's one of the most important times that we've ever had in a while to how important it is to price correctly if you want to sell a house. Before we wrap up, I just want to remind you that while I love sharing insights, I'm just a real estate agent. No one can predict the future with absolute certainty, even with all the data in the world. So while I do my best to give you the best insights, it's important that you do your own research and not make big financial decisions based solely on what you hear, even from me. If you're curious about how these trends might affect your next move, let's chat. You can book a call with me. I'd love to help you navigate that market in 2025. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to it. Here's to a great year ahead in Birmingham. Let's make 2025 amazing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.